prostitutes, friend? I totally love them. After all, it's the oldest profession on earth. Hookers have a lot in common with politicians, journalists, and actors, all of whom can either be artists or poseurs, turning cheap, dirty tricks or answering a true calling. It's easy to say that women who, voluntarily or not, got into this craziness are weak, stupid, and spineless sluts. But are they not just satisfying demand?
If it wasn't for men being so lustful, the incentive would not exist. It's the demand for these terrible things that keep the industry growing. Mr. Freeman is actually a Russian channel that is dubbed in English. The history of prostitution in Russia is very flippy-floppy. It's legal, then illegal. It's illegal right now in Russia, though. Here's some Wikipedia prostitution history. In Russia, prostitution in Russia became common after Peter the Great's military reform that created a sizable class of unmarried men who were serving in the military. These soldiers started generating a demand for prostitution. Monarchs who followed Peter I had different approaches to prostitution, ranging from complete abolition to decriminalization. Yeah, Russia has a staunch history of prostitution, but I think just like the rest of the world. I don't know why I just put this down.
You'll know that without them, some would go bonkers from loneliness, fear, frustration, and all kinds of complexes. I say, without a smidgen of irony, most of these women who by whatever twist of fate became professional satisfiers of pathetic male fantasies are far more decent and fair than their despicable clientele. I totally get guys who say sex with hookers is the purest, most honest kind of sex anyone can ever have, while a free-of-charge quickie can cost so much more, leaving behind such a residue of shame and cynicism for all involved that no matter how hard you try to, you can never wash it off.
He's stating here that these people opt out of a normal relationship because of the turmoil and pain they can get from having a real bond and human connection with someone else. It's honestly some cowardly shit that these people are doing.
So I ask you, is there anything new that can be said about this storied topic of old? Not a goddamn thing. We can only shrug our shoulders. Or as we walk along the streets watching 13 and 14-year-old girls hop into random cars, we can be dumbfounded again and again from the sheer inconceivability of this scene.
Yeah, this is fucking terrible. 51% of people who are sex trafficked in America are children. There is a difference between prostitution and sex trafficking. Prostitution is someone who is willfully doing it, and sex trafficking is someone who is enslaved to commit these terrible acts. But obviously, sex trafficked victims end up as prostitutes. This is a terrible business that generates billions of dollars. It's fucking gross, honestly.
Or am I wrong? Oh, and what's this monument? It's to an unknown, it says it's for an unknown hooker. What the? Well, why the hell not? For the boys who go missing in action in senseless wars, they build entire parks as memorials. Isn't this also a battlefield? Isn't the world of prostitution one big slaughterhouse? Of course it's naive to think that fantasies are about...
So he made a really nice tongue-in-cheek proposal here, stating that we make statues of people who die on battlefields. Shouldn't we do the same for the woman who died to supply men demand for sexual gratification? It's a really tongue-in-cheek remark that actually makes you think a little. If the demand was not there, these people wouldn't have to go through such terrible situations.
Of course it's naive to think that fantasies about Prince Charming will soon stop turning the heads of girls dreaming of rom-com lives, where a handsome man in a fancy car sweeps them off their feet and puts a ring right on their finger. Let the prudes grind their perfect teeth to dust right now, 'cause baby, this bronze beauty is gonna stand somewhere along Fifth Avenue or the Champs-Élysées, some glorious main street of our cities. I command it. A giant woman in a provocatively short dress, rain or shine. An eyesore eternally waving horny men down, forcing every passerby to engage their brains and decide for themselves, what do they think of it? And what's this monument? It's in honor of the noble hooker. An actual prostitute monument? What for? What for? Because they're good looking, of course.
Yeah, that's Mr. Freeman for you, a Russian deep thinker like all the greats, Nietzsche, Dostoevsky, etc. Let's play another video.
Hi there. There are a lot of you. What are you munching on over there? Ah, I thought it was potted meat for sure. All right then.
Take a little break from your meal.
And let's play make-believe. Imagine that you're a rich manufacturer, transporting spices and brocade fabric by ship. Long voyage, comfy cabin, vast sea, beautiful. But one fine day, rats under the deck start crapping in your spices and gnawing on your precious fabric. What are you gonna do to get rid of these wretched pests? Simple. You put 5 rats in one barrel, lock them in there together for a couple of weeks until the only thing left in the barrel is one single rat who gobbled up his brothers when he got hungry. Now we have a what? Right, we have a cannibal. Somebody that out of all possible meals prefers what? Right, the meat of his own species. Now you release him in the hold and... True genius is so simple.
Yeah, Mr. Freeman is using metaphor. Essentially, we are the rats, and we're locked in society trying to destroy each other in this rat race. And the one who makes it out is the most fucked up one, who fucks people over the most.
Hamsters, wolves, and some cats eat their newborns, and for them, this behavior is completely normal. Adorable little lemmings falling to their deaths when there isn't enough food to go around is also normal, right? To say nothing of the fact that meat from one of your own species digests far better than any other food, thanks to the similarities in protein and salt compositions of the victim and the eater. By the way, cannibalism as a cultural phenomenon has never disappeared from our little planet. We're all aware of its religious and sexual forms, but it's a rather exotic topic for curious people and field experts. Yet we, the genuine humanists, dismiss their absurd narrow-mindedness and fickle moral qualms because we are much more focused on the economic dimension. You better listen up.
The biggest problem faced by humankind is not global warming, but overpopulation and famine. In the last 50 years, the total number of people who were born and died equals the births and deaths in all the rest of human history.
In other words, we're getting a bit too many.
You get what I mean? The terrible day is coming when all wimps are going to learn we are our own food. In underdeveloped societies, the cannibalism will happen randomly on the principle of who can I catch? Pretty much the same as how they mate. But for civilized societies, it should and certainly will be a more industrial process. Just imagine farms, spacious and well-lit, where in comfortable stalls utilizing the latest technology they breed select two-legged livestock. You know, the animals who permit themselves to become food end up as the winners in the mortal interspecies battle for control over the planet. Did you know that? How many tigers on Earth? Not very many. Lions? How about bears? Very few. But now riddle me this. How many cows live on Earth? There are billions of them. Understand? Now listen up. Has it ever occurred to you to wonder...
This one is a bit complicated for sure. He's playing with the cannibalism metaphor throughout the whole video, making it complicated to understand. But here he states predator species are not abundant, but prey are, saying that the reason that there's billions of humans is because we are the livestock to a predator. The predator being the rich and wealthy.
Who might have already started the process of turning us into livestock? Physiological and sociological conditioning is already happening. Just look at this. Cultivation of stem cells is 1. Use of serum from abortive material in medicine, 2nd. Popular movies about the living dead devouring human flesh, 3. Laws about euthanasia, 4. Shawarma or gyros made from who knows what sold on every corner, 5. Do you even know what that stuff is? There's no need to be scared of this bright future. No crisis will menace us ever again. The vegans and the tree huggers will be downright giddy. Nobody will harm their beloved animals anymore. Although, maybe those vegans and greenies will go into the very first batch of universal protein ration. Huh? Give it a think.
Interesting. I was looking at the comments and I think they have the most accurate analysis on this video. High Trash Rat states, I don't think they're saying we are livestock in the same way that cows or chickens are. I'm pretty sure they're more or less using it as an analogy for our jobs. We are more or less food for the system we live in. We're the energy keeping it alive. Might have interpreted wrong, but that's what makes the theories fun. I think he's correct. Imagine normalizing taking advantage of another person for your own personal gain and convincing them that their shitty life they live is the best life they'll live. yeah, that was the reaction to Mr. Freeman. I fucking love his videos. This is Kenyel. This is GoodEYE. And I hope you guys have a beautiful day.